at our house, and we didn't have it here last year, so I'm super excited to have it here this year. But that means I have to come up with a menu. So I have been brainstorming and I came up with 3 sides that I've never tried before that look absolutely amazing. I think my family will absolutely love all 3 of these sides. And I figured what better way than to create these sides with you guys, so you guys can have them for your Easter dinner if you're hosting, or even if you're going to someone's house for Easter, you could totally bring any of these sides, and I think they're going to turn out amazing. So without further ado, let's start cooking. So our first side recipe is going to be the Pioneer Woman's recipe, and it is her twice baked potato casserole. Growing up, my mom made twice baked potatoes for just special occasions, Thanksgiving, Easter, Christmas, and it was my favorite kind of potato to have. But because it is a lot of work, she just didn't cook it that much. So therefore, because it's a lot of work for me, I don't ever cook it. But when I saw this, I was like, if I can have twice baked potato and then just throw it in a casserole style, I'm all in. So that is what I'm going to be making for Easter this year. So that is our first recipe. Before I go into the lineup, I want to tell you guys, because this isn't actually Easter and we are just cooking this for just me and my little crew this week, which is just me and the kids. Rye's gone for work. I am halving this recipe. I will also be halving all the other recipes, so I just wanted to state that before we get into it. But here is the lineup. So I already went ahead and baked 4 russet potatoes. I just greased them down with some olive oil, and they baked at 400 for 40 minutes, and they're all nice and ready to go. They're just cooling. So you'll need 4 russet potatoes, some black pepper, some salt, 1 stick of butter, I believe it's a half a cup of sour cream, so I'm going to use my Greek yogurt, half a cup of whole milk, and then a half a cup of cheese. I'm just using some mild cheddar, and then I have just a tiny bit of some Colby Jack I'm going to throw in. And then I cooked up 4 pieces of bacon and crumbled it, and it is just cooled off and ready to go. So this is what you'll need for it. You also will need green onion. I did not buy that just because, again, I'm just cooking it for like a dinner tonight. But for Easter, I would definitely buy the green onion just to give that pop of freshness and make it just a little bit more prettier when serving. So let's start making this casserole. To our mixer, I added all 4 potatoes. Now it says for half of the potatoes, you completely peel the skin off, and then for the other half, you leave the skin on. So that's what I did. I left 2 skins on and then peeled 2 of them. I already threw our stick of butter in there, so it kind of starts to melt with the steam from the potatoes because they're still really hot. Now we're going to start adding all the ingredients. Then it says a half a cup of sour cream. I'm just kind of measure out about. And then I'm just going to roughly estimate a half a cup of cheese. I'm just going to dump the rest of that one. I'm just going to add just a little bit more. Alright. And then we're going to add some salt. And some black pepper. Now in the recipe it says to roughly mash, but my family likes theirs more whipped than like a rustic type of potato. So that's why mine's in a mixer, like a KitchenAid, but you can either do the rough version or you can do the whipped version. So I'm just turning this on low. Just gonna kind of scrape down the sides. Just make sure it all gets evenly mashed. So I went ahead and sprayed my little, what is this, Cornyware bowl. Now, mind you, if you're making the full serving, you would use a 9 by 13, but again, since I only halved it, I don't need that big of a casserole dish. And we are going to just sprinkle it with a little bit more cheese. And then we are going to top it with our crumbled bacon. This is going to go in the oven at 350 degrees for about 20 to 25 minutes. I've been letting it cool for like 15 minutes because I didn't want to burn the roof of my mouth. But it smells incredible. The cheese and the bacon smells amazing in the house, so let's taste it. Oh my gosh, that's so good. It's literally the inside of a twice baked potato. It's literally the inside. And I like how you leave some of the potato skins on the potato so they're in the mixture, because when you do a twice baked potato, you're literally putting this mixture into the skin, back into the skin of the potato, so you'd still be eating that skin. So I love that they did that. And then the chunks of, like the chunks of bacon on top. Oh my gosh. This is definitely being cooked on Easter. Like, I know the family's gonna absolutely go crazy over that. And I definitely am gonna do the green onion on top when it comes out, like after it's cooled. I'm just gonna do that just for that little bit of freshness. But oh my gosh, you guys have to try that recipe. It's so good. Okay, so for our next Easter side dish, we are gonna make a scalloped corn. This is a recipe I've never seen before, nor have I ever made, but it looked amazing when I looked at the blog. I got it from a girl on Pinterest, so of course I will leave all the recipes, the description and everything down below in the description bar. But holy moly, it sounds amazing. Again, I feel like corn, that's a perfect entry into spring and summer. It's kind of light, but it's kind of southern comfort. So I'm very, very excited to make this recipe. It sounds super quick and easy, which I'm always a fan of, especially with having a toddler running around and trying to cook for a huge family. Now, mind you, I am splitting this recipe in half, so just forewarning, this is going to be a smaller portion when you see me cooking than the actual recipe holds. So just wanted to give you that tip, but let's get cooking. So the lineup for this recipe, it calls for butter, corn, sugar, half and half, eggs, nutmeg, salt, and I'm missing one ingredient, which is Ritz crackers. But in the blog, it actually says that you can use club. Now, I do have club crackers, so I might have to substitute those. She said those work just as fine. But Talon is out running errands, so he might be able to stop and get me Ritz crackers in time, but we'll just see. So either way, if you don't have Ritz, don't fret. You can totally use club if you have them in your pantry. So either way, those are the ingredients for this recipe. So I'm gonna go ahead and use my KitchenAid to do this recipe, but in a large bowl, we are going to mix up our half and half, our egg, our sugar, our salt, and nutmeg. So halving this recipe, I'm going to do 3/4 cup of half and half. Now it calls for 3 eggs. I'm going to attempt to do it with just 1. Again, if you're making the full serving, add all 3 eggs. And then it calls for 2 tablespoons of sugar, so I'm only gonna do 1 tablespoon. Half a teaspoon of salt. I'm just going to kind of eyeball that. And then it calls for an 1/8 teaspoon of nutmeg, so I'm literally gonna do like half of, tiny little pinch. And we're going to give this a whisk. Alright, the recipe calls for 1.5 cups of white cheddar cheese. So I just got a block of cheddar cheese from Trader Joe's. I'm going to shred it. Alright, that looks like plenty of cheese. We're going to add, it calls for a 32-ounce bag of corn, but like I said, we're only doing half. So I'm going to add a 16-ounce bag of thawed frozen corn. All right, now we're going to add half a sleeve of a crushed Ritz crackers. So it will come out. And then 3/4 cup of our cheese. Go ahead and give this a good mix. So now that I've got my little casserole baking dish grease, I'm going to just pour the corn mixture in. And then this is going to go in a preheated oven at 325 for 30 minutes. So our casserole just came out from 30 minutes. So now what it says to do is melt your butter. So I nuked it in the microwave for a minute. And now I'm going to add the rest of our crushed Ritz crackers right in. A good little toss. Come on, actually add some more Ritz crackers. Why the heck not, right? Give this a quick toss. Now I'm just gonna add the rest of our cheddar cheese that I had shredded earlier. Give it another quick toss. And then we're just gonna sprinkle this on top of the casserole. The nutmeg and the butter. Yum. I don't know where this recipe has been all my life, but if this turns out as well as it smells, this is going to be a new holiday recipe. All right, perfect. So now we are gonna go ahead and throw it back in the oven for about another 20 to 25 minutes. Back its top, baby. Okay, so I've let our scalloped corn rest for about 5 minutes and I wanna take a bite. So I've got like a little bit of the corn and then I've got like a chunk of the topping. So it's still kind of hot, so let's see. I definitely taste the white cheddar. It tastes so good in here. It's creamy, but not like too creamy where it's like a creamed corn or anything. With the Ritz cracker on top, it's definitely a game changer. This is seriously so good. I know this is definitely going to be another hit in my family, so it'll definitely be a hit with your family. All right, you guys, so our last recipe we're cooking today is going to be a creamy Brussels. This one sounds heavenly, but it also sounds like it takes just a short amount of time to toss and put together, which is even better. So especially when you're cooking Easter, like you just want to hang out with family or sit outside and enjoy the nice weather. You don't want to be slaving over the stove. So this was something that I was like, okay, I can totally put this together super quickly and then throw in the oven and it's good to go. And I'm actually the most excited for this recipe. Brussels sprouts is literally one of my favorite vegetables. And as I'm used to just throwing them in the oven and roasting them with like some honey or balsamic, I just thought this was a little bit more of a fancier, more elevated twist on doing a Brussels sprout as a side. So let's go to the lineup. Oh, here's everything you're going to need. It literally calls for just a handful of ingredients, and like I said, it's going to be super quick. Again, I split this recipe, so we're going to need Brussels sprouts, some mozzarella cheese, some Parmesan. I have just a little bit left over in this bag, some Italian seasoning, some minced garlic, and it calls for heavy cream, but I'm just going to use half and half, and I think it will be just fine. So let's go ahead and start putting this all together. Okay, so it calls for your Brussels sprouts to be trimmed in half, which this bag already was. It takes up a lot of prep. That cuts down on a lot of prep time. Also calls for 1 cup of heavy cream. Like I said, we're splitting this, so I'm going to do about a half a cup of my half and half right in over the Brussels. Calls for 4, It calls for 4 cloves of garlic. Like I said, we're going to split this, so we're going to do 2. So just 1, 2. It says a tablespoon of Italian seasoning, so I'm just going to do about half a tablespoon. So like that much right in there. And I'm going to do half a cup of mozzarella. Again, I'm going to kind of just eyeball that. And then it calls for 3/4 cup of Parmesan. Again, I'm going to do probably about half of that. And give all this a good toss. Dump that right in. All that cheese. Spread that around. Oh man, this is gonna be so good. I'm just going to top mine with just a little bit more cheese. Alright, so now we have it in our cast iron skillet. We're going to put it in the oven at 400 degrees for about 25 to 30 minutes.
Even though it's popular I see today, he is letting me know he's being more honest.
Okay, so we've let the Brussels sprouts cool for a little bit, and I'm going to take a bite and see. Oh my gosh, that's so good. You wouldn't think with the Italian season, like I was a little bit hesitant, I'm not gonna lie. I've never done Italian seasoning with Brussels, and that is phenomenal. Oh my gosh, with the Parmesan cheese. This is definitely a must try. This is such a great new way to roast Brussels sprouts, especially even in the fall. This is phenomenal. Love this. This is definitely gonna be a staple in my house for sure. You guys, so that is can conclude today's Easter side recipes. I hope you guys enjoyed seeing all these fun new recipes with me. I'm so excited for my family to try these on Easter. I'm excited to recreate them all over again for everybody, and I hope you guys test some of these out. Leave a comment below which ones you try and if you love them. If you did like today's video, give it a big thumbs up and subscribe down below. Also hit the bell for notifications so you never miss another video like this. I hope you guys all have a great Easter, and I will see you guys. I love you so much.